Alright, now, stuff from today. First and foremost, I want to restate that our entire process for learning new material breaks into two sections. One, memorization, during which we are going over what we're going to do when we actually set out to play that section of the song. We equated that to memorizing dance steps. When you're in that mindset, you're consciously focused, no guessing. You don't always have to start at the beginning, and you can completely de-emphasize rhythm and tempo. Just think of it as this is a list of occurrences that I'm putting into my muscle memory, and then I'm going to move forward. Then the counterintuitive part is not to start at the beginning every time, or feel like if you break rhythm, it's a mistake and you need to go back to the beginning of the section you're working on. Bears repeating just because it goes against what our subconscious does naturally, and it's how we're going to quickly progress through material, because like we see with our song today that we made up to sound like an Elliott Smith riff, there are very similar elements in each one. If you get good at the first measure, second measure, not going to be an issue, and so forth. Real quick, you need to give yourself a geography test on B and E, C and F, D and G. I'm still tuned down a whole step just so I'm in the same key you are. And here's the thing. Make it into a geography test. Do not just go B and E, C and F, D and G. You need to, and we actually made a suggestion of dosages of info being the first four notes. And don't think about that's a half step. I'll be able to find C because I know that's, just really quiz yourself. If you need to do imaginary flashcards or literal flashcards that just say C, F, B, E in any order, that's the kind of recall we're looking for. The same kind that you just know this is G. And it's only overthinking it that can turn it into more of a project than it really is. Like I said during the lesson, what if four of my friends walked in and introduced you to them? You wouldn't try to group it and know it in any fashion. You'd just be like, that one's Jim, that one's Dan, that one's Mary, etc. Maybe you forget if the fourth person's name was Mitch or whatever. You're like, was it Mitch or Mac? And it's, etc. So we want to take that same approach to any type of name memorization. It's a geography test, not a deductive reasoning problem. This is the land of guitar, the country of 7th fret, the province of 6th string. It's B, boom, like that at the end. Cool. And I know you get that. It's just elaborating on it brings to light how easy it is to start learning more and more landmarks. And what we mean by landmarks is, you know where C is, you'd be able to find C sharp. It only takes so many times like one C sharp, you wake up one day, C sharp. Cool. So zooming in on our Elliott Smith tune, where again, technique-wise, we're looking to be in this position, not where if you put all of your fingers, your picking fingers on strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, where you'd be able to do the pinch movement, move your thumb and index finger independently of each other. And just watch yourself for reverting back to the old technique when you're doing that. But we wrote the song to force your hand, pun intended, to have to deal with that juxtaposition and use your ring finger more. Only anchor with your pinky if it really feels natural. I think what you were doing today, not anchoring, makes the most sense for playing modern music where we want to be able to play percussive things as well as single notey stuff. Alright, so we've got our first measure that goes. So we go. So please stop the video and get real good at that. Now, do not play the first measure. Just start on the second measure as the song starts there. And we've got this. So it's got literally the same 3 and 4 end. So it's. There we go. So there's our whole A minor section. We've got this. And starting tempo might be like. But we're working towards that Elliott Smith tempo. And, like we discussed during the lesson, you can follow the bouncing bass note. As we know, the bass notes are going to fall right on the downbeat in this song, 1, 2, 3, 4. And our melody notes will only be right at the same time or in between them, so on the downbeat or on the upbeat. Cool. And we decided we were going to do that twice in the overall song, but right now just stop and get sick at that A minor part. Cool. And just watch yourself reverting back to the other thumb position. When we got to C, we're going, so there's our literal pinch forcing the issue. Make sure you're not using your middle finger there. So we've got, that's nothing, right. Yeah, totally. Sorry. Yeah. There it is. So that's ended all of our measures so far. So stop and get good at that. Do not play the A minor stuff. Now, having done that, go A minor once, then just this part of C, simulating, or literally, I'm learning this transition. That's a good thing to do, zero in on, okay, I did the transition once, rather than on the fly. And then our second half of C, we get a little funky, we get all, so that's ending with a strum. What we said during the lesson was, pinky overview. It's gonna be like here, then there, then there. So that's what's gonna happen. That's still 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Cool. Which makes our whole C part. Great. And then think of a second step in that whole process being I just played it and then I returned to the strings in the new position, having just strummed with that part of your hand. Boink. Great, so there's us. And we decided we were just going to get good at that, 2 of the first one, 2 of the second one, something along those lines. So there it is. And I'm not even going to play the whole thing. I think we've got it. Now I'll try it once, whatever. Rather. And so forth like that. So slow, fast, memorization, headspace, playing, headspace. Do not look at the page, look at your hands. I don't mean magically conjure the info, just we're thinking visually, and that's what we want to be focused on. Then down at the bottom of the page, we talked about, pentatonic playing and trying to move away from a very single note-y style and work towards being faster. So what we saw you doing was like putting your middle, when you can totally just go. So just first and foremost, just map out the scale, including doing this on the 2 high strings. Why are we doing that? So we can bend, and so that we can advance and be in the right position for the box in front of it. Like we talked about, it's not that we don't do pinky stuff in that juxtaposition all the time, just not for this specific kind of riff where we're so often bending here and here. So we just did pull-offs on the way up, and rather hammer-ons on the way up, pull-offs on the way down, working on speed. So just do that at whatever tempo works for you, and then speed it up. Please stop and work on that. Cool. And then we also just went like, just looking at this whole thing. So the bending with my ring finger, my middle finger, and when you're on the 3rd string, it's pretty obvious what to do the G string, where your middle and ring finger are both pushing up. And then when you go to here, your middle finger is going to come along for the ride. So you'd be pushing up with the force of those 2 fingers. Where you could, in theory, you could roll, you roll off to it or something like that. So that's us. And then just try some kind of, trying to interject some of those bends into what you normally do and making sure that you just stick with ring finger for the 7th fret. Alright, bro. I'm going to see you at your next lesson, which we totally put on the schedule this coming Monday, or rather a week from Monday. And I will see you then. Very good to meet you. Like I mentioned, you're welcome to pay less than the lesson the whole way, but if you do decide to prepay for some lessons next time, I'll prorate in the payment for today, and I've got options for 5 lessons, 10 lessons, 20 lessons. It's like to meet you. I will see you very, very soon. And that is your video. Stop it and work in little sections. Follow the bouncing teacher. And just crush it, man. You'll do well. Memorization headspace, playing headspace.